The arena lights blazed down on a packed Manchester crowd, the air thick with anticipation. More than 20,000 fans had gathered for a clash that felt like a passing of the torch. On one side stood a young fighter trying to rebuild his reputation. On the other stood a legend who had already carved his name into boxing history. From Guadalajara, Mexico, came the battle-tested warrior known as the baby-faced assassin, Marco Antonio Barrera. A 7-time world champion with more than 70 professional fights, Barrera had faced the best of his generation. His wars with Eric Morales had become part of boxing folklore, and his victory over Prince Nassim Hamed had shattered one of the sport's biggest stars. Across the ring stood a fighter from Bolton, England, Amir Khan, young, lightning fast, and full of ambition. Khan had risen to fame as an Olympic silver medalist, but the road to greatness had recently taken a painful turn. Only months earlier, he had suffered a devastating knockout loss to Bradis Prescott, a defeat that raised serious doubts about his future. Critics questioned his durability. Some believed the hype had come too early, but tonight offered redemption. As the fighters stood in the center of the ring, the contrast between them was striking. Barrera carried the calm confidence of a veteran who had seen everything the sport could offer. Khan, meanwhile, bounced lightly on his feet, his youthful energy impossible to contain. The referee called them together and gave final instructions. The crowd fell silent. 2 generations of fighters, 2 very different careers, and one defining moment. They touched gloves, then the bell rang. From the opening seconds, Amir Khan's speed was impossible to ignore. His jabs snapped forward like lightning, landing before Barrera could even react. The young Brit moved quickly in and out of range, firing sharp combinations before slipping away. The veteran studied him carefully, searching for rhythm. But Khan wasn't slowing down. The future of boxing had come to prove something. As the fight moved into the second round, the tempo began to rise. Amir Khan was fighting with a clear plan: speed, movement, and relentless pressure. His jab continued to snap forward, repeatedly disrupting Barrera's attempts to settle into the fight. Each time the Mexican legend tried to plant his feet, Khan was already gone, sliding away and firing another quick combination. Then suddenly, the momentum of the fight shifted. As both fighters moved inside, their heads came together in an accidental clash. Instantly, blood appeared. A deep cut opened on Barrera's forehead, and within seconds, it began to pour down his face. The ringside doctor leaned forward to take a look, but the fight continued. Khan sensed opportunity. With confidence growing, the young fighter unleashed a series of fast combinations. A sharp right hand snapped Barrera's head back, followed by a quick flurry that had the crowd roaring in excitement. The veteran tried to respond, but the speed difference was undeniable. Barrera had spent a lifetime mastering the art of boxing: timing, patience, and devastating counterpunches. But tonight, he was facing something difficult to solve: pure speed. Khan darted around the ring, his feet light and his hands even faster. Jabs, right hands, and quick hooks landed before Barrera could properly set his defense. Between rounds, Barrera's corner worked desperately to control the cut, but the damage was severe, and blood continued to trickle into his eye. Still, the Mexican warrior refused to back down. Even through the blood, Barrera pushed forward, throwing punches with determination. For a brief moment in the 4th round, he landed a solid left hook that reminded everyone of the danger he carried. The crowd held its breath. But Khan simply nodded, raised his gloves, and fired back with another blistering combination. The young fighter was in complete control. Yet everyone inside the arena understood one thing: against a legend like Barrera, the fight was never truly safe. By the time the 5th round began, the fight had become a test of endurance for Marco Antonio Barrera. Blood continued to stream from the deep cut above his eye, running down his face and staining his gloves. The ringside doctor watched closely as Barrera blinked through the crimson mask. But the warrior refused to surrender. Across the ring, Amir Khan looked sharper with every passing minute. His movements were fluid, his punches fast and precise. The young Brit circled his opponent, landing clean shots while staying just out of reach. A quick jab, a snapping right hand, another fast combination. The crowd inside the arena could sense what was happening. Khan wasn't just winning the fight, he was dominating a legend. Still, Barrera kept coming forward, driven by pride and years of championship experience. Every punch he threw carried the hope of turning the fight around with a single moment. But that moment never came. Midway through the fifth round, the referee paused the action as the ringside doctor once again examined Barrera's cut. This time, the decision was unavoidable. The wound was simply too severe. The fight was stopped. Because 5 rounds had already been completed, the result would go to the judges' scorecards in a technical decision. The crowd waited anxiously as the announcer stepped into the ring. Then the verdict came. All 3 judges scored the fight in favor of Amir Khan. The arena erupted in cheers. For the young fighter from Bolton, this victory meant far more than just another win. It was redemption after the painful loss that had shaken his career. On this night in Manchester, Amir Khan had faced a legendary warrior and proved he belonged on boxing's biggest stage. Youth, speed, and determination had carried him forward, and the future suddenly looked bright once again.